You're too timid.
I'm not timid. It's just been a while. It's okay.
It's been a while since I've been podcasting. I was thinking about it. I was like, is this the first time that babies have been in this studio? I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure this is not the first time that babies have been in the studio. This is probably the first time, if I get specific, this is probably the first time that infant twin girls have been in the studio. Probably the first time that infant twins, period, have been in the studio. You know what it definitely won't be the first time for?
What?
If someone gets shit on while we're in here tonight, it will not be the first time that someone's been shit on in the studio. I can guarantee you.
What?
This radio is a crazy business. Two guys, one podcast. I'm one guy. You should really dump your boyfriend now that we've taken our bathroom break.
Yeah.
Two guys, one podcast.
And I'm Honey Bun. Oh, I forgot what I was supposed to say. You're welcome.
Two guys, one podcast. Your future boyfriend and eventual husband.
Break her heart later, but for now, enjoy her.
Two guys, one podcast. I'm one guy.
And I'm Honey Bun.
And this is how I became her handsome.
And this is how I became his beautiful. Is there a story there?
I don't have a personal story. I don't know that for a fact. I don't know the time that somebody got shit on. And that's the time that somebody got shit on in the studio. No, I don't. But I'm assuming that it's happened before. DJs are crazy. Hey, I'm going to take this away from you because I think you're asleep.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't think they're going to stay awake. I think you're supposed to.
You know what else? This is definitely the first time that someone has done baby-wise scheduling in this studio. You ready to start?
Parents for the win. Yes.
Welcome to Two Guys, One Podcast. I'm one guy.
And I'm Honey Bun.
And this is how I became her handsome.
And this is how I became his beautiful.
Part 3.
Part
modern
3.
Modern American Love Story, Part 3. This is we're going to talk about our little girls. And little girls plural. When last we left you, unbeknownst to our dynamic duo, there were twin babies of bacon.
Can you hear me all right?
You should, if you don't mind, pull it in tighter to you. Like, just grab the hole.
Kind of far, but I didn't
grab
know.
there and get it. You see how close mine is?
Yeah, but I didn't know if your little thingy on the front.
If that changes things?
Yeah.
All that does is it keeps me from popping and from spitting in it, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can spit in mine.
Well, no, because you see the fuzzy thing on yours?
Oh, yeah.
And it does the same thing effectively.
Okay.
It's the same idea. Yeah, she's like out like a light mostly.
I'm sure she's fixing to be too. It's okay. They'll be fine.
Well, I'm
We'll
just
survive.
thinking, I'll toss her around a little bit. just
So
shake her up.
Don't shake the baby.
I mean, not literally shake her. I'm aware. I did 2 of these already, and I didn't break either one of them. So hey, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you.
Nothing's wrong with other guy. I thought, hey, we're at episode 80, and it's like Christmas / New Year's week, and it's holiday time, and it might be kind of a nice time to do a little family show. And you and I took a week off from work, and I thought, we have all the time in the world, and I thought, we'll record 2 or 3 episodes this week, and we'll have stuff for weeks and weeks and weeks. It is Saturday at 8:15, and we're finally getting into the studio. The only way we could get in now is if we brought the babies with us.
They all with us.
I think that tells you exactly how busy it is with twins. We're going to back up a little bit, though, and we're going to talk about the pregnancy, and we're going to talk about the delivery and the labor and all of that stuff, and we're going to talk about what it's like having these beautiful little girls at home. But we're also finally going to get to, you mentioned this in the first episode of our podcast together, but we're finally going to get to the list. You've got this running list of quotes and phrases, and we're going to discuss a few items off of that before we round up tonight. But first, let's start with this. In the last episode of our podcast, which you can hear, you can find links especially to it at twoguysonepod.com. It's Modern American Love Story, and then Modern American Love Story Part 2. In the last episode, like we left off with the parents knew, that we were having a baby. We had gone to, I think, one doctor's appointment already and
Yeah.
confirmed the pregnancy and that kind of stuff. And like, yeah, you were happy, healthy, everything was going well. And then early on, it's like you don't go to the doctor for weeks at a time.
Right.
And so we were kind of in between doctor visits. And I think the next doctor visit was going to be
The ultrasound.
right. So you were probably like 16 weeks, 18 weeks along, something like that.
When we recorded?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
last time. So you were at 21 weeks when
That's
we had
19.
the 19 weeks when we went to the ultrasound tech.
Right.
And we hadn't been in her office like, I mean, well, I say been in her office. We were in her office for a while, but she hadn't, she squeezes the goo all over you from top to tail pretty much. And then she starts running the thing over your belly, and all of a sudden she's like, all right, first pregnancy, huh? And you were like, yes, yes for me. Okay. And, well, I got some surprises for you today.
First ultrasound? Yep.
Yeah, that's it. First ultrasound? Yes. Okay. I got some surprises for you today. 2, in fact. Twins. What was the first thing that ran through your mind?
What? That's what.
It was just surprise, just
Yeah,
shock. Like,
I was
no.
Actually, did she say
I misheard her.
twins? Yeah. And then my second thought was, oh, shit.
Surely she means I have twin uteruses or something, right?
Yeah. I was like, I was very surprised at spontaneous twins. That's what they call them, apparently.
Spontaneous twins.
Yes.
When they don't run in the family like a lot or something? Or
No,
what is that?
just like when you don't have to help getting pregnant with them.
Oh.
That's what I've learned on reading on the Facebook.
Spontaneous twins?
Spontaneous twins.
That sounds so
Ridiculous.
I don't
Stupid.
know how I feel about that at all.
I know. I'm like, why don't you just say natural twins? Like
Well,
spontaneous
I guess
twins?
that implies that the other kind would be unnatural. Those are
Yeah.
unnatural twins over there.
Yeah. Which, yes. It's ridiculous.
I
Spontaneous.
got news for you. All twins are unnatural. This is not. It's look. There is a reason why human beings have single births as the rule. Multiple births is hard, folks. It's hard on the mama. It's hard on the family. It's hard on the babies too. But you know what's awesome? This is like the one thing that I'm like most excited about, and immediately I'm with you. I thought, oh shit, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like first I thought,
Well,
what?
no,
I just didn't.
It was so funny though, because you, like, she said twins, and immediately you said, well, no, she said, actually, I have 2 surprises, and I didn't really catch what she said at first, and you immediately said, you are kidding, and then I was like, oh shit, there's 2 babies in there, and then I think you said twins, and she said twins, and I said what?
I
Until
just-
verbalized it.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't.
Yeah, you kept saying over and over again.
You
are kidding me. What?
It was shocking.
Yeah.
But once so once I gave it a day or two and it had like begun to sink in a little bit, I actually got a little excited and I've told you this several times. I like the fact that we get to do 2 kids, but we get them all out of the way at the same time.
Right.
Like our retirement
Right.
plan isn't off any further.
Exactly. Get diapers out of the way at the same time. Potty training out of the way at the same time. Teething. Just get it all done. One fell swoop.
So, I mean, I know everybody has already asked you this, but nobody has asked you on a recording before. I know you don't know any different from a single pregnancy to a twin pregnancy
Right.
because you've only had one. But there was a time when you thought it was a single pregnancy, and then there was a time when you knew it was twin pregnancy.
Right.
How is the emotional and mental state different in the knowing you're having a baby to knowing you're having babies?
It's a lot scarier. Just the unknown. Because, like, the doctors tell you everything's different. And I mean, I don't know that everything's different because I don't have anything to compare it to, but it is scarier. Like, everything is doubled. Your risks are greater, and I mean, the rewards are greater. They're awesome, and they're great, and they're healthy. But, like, you know, it's two daycare bills, twice the diapers, twice the feedings, you know, twice the worry. So I think I think the second half of my pregnancy was much more emotionally stressful on me. Even if I didn't outwardly look it, internally I was very, very stressed. Just scared, but excited, but really scared. It took me a long time to wrap my head around, and I had just gotten used to the idea of having one, and then boom, two.
Yeah, I mean, and it's worth reiterating because it's possible that somebody has stumbled upon this as the first episode. Which, by the way, if you have, normally the show is not like this. This is Two Guys One Podcast, and you're at twoguysonepod.com. Normally we're a little comedy show, and it's me and my buddy, one guy and the other guy. This week, though, it's one guy and Honey Bun. This is my wife. She's joining me on the show, and there are backstory, episode 1 and episode 2 of our story that you can go back and listen to if this is your first time. But we're talking about the birth of our twins today. It was scary as hell. I've talked to you about it a lot, and I know I've talked, I think on the show before with the other guy. It was terrifying to me, and especially when every time you go to the doctor, they're telling you about the increased risk of this and the increased risk of that,
right?
Because it's a twin birth or a twin pregnancy. What was you told me very early on, after we knew it was twins, you told me that you thought they were going to be born on December 3rd, which would have been a week earlier than the doctors were saying was like the maximum they were going to let you go.
Right.
And like 3 weeks early from their real quote-unquote due date.
Yeah, they were due December 24th. Doctors told me they weren't going to let me go past 38 weeks, which is December 10th. And then, I just had this feeling that I was going to go to December 2nd and go into labor and have him December 3rd. And if I had not had the issues that I wound up having, like, I bet I would have. I bet I would have gone into labor.
I think it's entirely possible.
I think I would have.
Let me ask you this, because, so you thought you had a feeling that you were going to go into labor. Do what?
I'm just letting her sleep.
All right.
She wakes up.
You thought you were going to go into labor like December 3rd. Did you have a woman's intuition, woman's premonition, whatever? Did you have a feeling that it was going to be okay, that the babies were going to be all right, the pregnancy was going to be, even though you had fears, you felt like everything was going to be fine?
Ooh. Yeah, I did. I really did. I kind of felt like...
Talking in the mic.
I kind of felt like if anything was going to happen...
It's not like you got a baby to watch or anything.
If anything was going to happen, like maybe they would have like a couple of hours or maybe an overnight stay in the NICU. But I didn't fear that they were going to come super early. From the first day, from the day I found out I was pregnant, I was like, I'm going to birth this baby and I'm going to be awesome and it's going to be great and I got this. Like, I had confidence in myself and my body to do the work, you know?
Hello. Hello.
That's Baby B.
It's the audio debut of my youngest child.
But yeah, no, I didn't really have any huge fears after they arrived.
Let me ask you. Let's run through the pregnancy checklist.
Okay.
What about cravings? Did you have any crazy cravings?
No, and I mean, you might debunk that or whatever, but I kind of wish I did. Like every once in a while, I would say, "Ooh, I really want an icy," or "Ooh, I want a turkey melt," or something like that. But it wasn't anything. But that's normally I'm like that.
Yeah, from my side of it, it seemed to me like you had occasionally like strong desires.
Right.
But when you think of pregnancy cravings, what you think of is craving odd things or craving odd combinations or foods that you don't normally like. And there wasn't really anything like that. Like you didn't all of a sudden start eating ham.
No. No, sir. But I did in the beginning of the pregnancy, I did have one. I wanted crawfish so bad.
And it was still in season.
It was the very end. But when it was that I wanted it,
prices are high or something.
It was
they were hard to find.
I think it was just hard to find. They were small or they were crappy or something. But yeah, I couldn't find any. And I was so upset because I really, really wanted some. And I just couldn't find it. That was the only thing I ever really wanted that I couldn't get.
What was your of the standard pregnancy symptoms? We're talking about weight gain, talking about like morning sickness, talking about the cravings, talking about not being able to sleep on your back. Of the standard pregnancy hang-ups, what was what was the worst part of pregnancy? Of those normal things? Yeah.
Not being able to sleep on my stomach.
It was like the
was
number one.
Terrible. Like, just because she's like cross-eyed.
No, we should specify. She's not actually cross-eyed. She currently has crossed her eyes as she's staring at her mother. That's baby A over there, my namesake.
But
is namesake? Does namesake mean person you got your name from or person you gave your name to?
Namesake is person you got your name from. She's your namesake.
No. So I am her namesake.
Yes, you are her namesake. Yeah.
A road sign is my namesake.
Yeah, a road sign is your namesake. That is correct.
All right. We were discussing though. Sleeping on your back or not?
No, sleeping on my stomach.
Stomach. Yes.
That was terrible. But then, I felt pretty good throughout the pregnancy. I mean, I had, like, aches and pains. Like, my hips would hurt. Like, there was a couple of times where I would get up and I felt like I was 90 years old. Like, my hips would really hurt. But, not sleeping on my stomach was terrible.
That's Shakira's comeback album. Because my hips don't hurt. Ooh, what'd you do?
I'm a terrible mother. I'm sorry. It's okay. Sorry. She's fine.
Sympathy cries are a real thing.
It's okay, Mama. Sorry. Please forgive me. What? No, you are not going to eat. Did they eat? They ate. Yeah.
Did they eat? You don't have pregnancy brain as an excuse anymore.
They say it follows you. Look, they're always on my boobs.
It follows you for a while. You're saying there's a hangover period for pregnancy brain?
Look, I got twins.
How long? So
now
is
always on my boobs.
Is it breastfeeding brain? Is that what it's called?
It's breastfeeding brain. We're going with that.
But we can both attest pregnancy brain is a real thing.
That's a true.
Like the idea, like your short-term memory, your like ability to multitask.
You just can't get your thoughts together. Sometimes, so not all the time, but
I know make with the talk pretty.
Yeah. I need to use the sleep.
I need to use the sleep. You need to use the sleep.
I think I need
to use the sleep. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of that, and that continues though even after the girls came home. Like that's not just about being pregnant. But it was like you definitely had nights where like you're too uncomfortable in bed. You end up like I'm gonna sit in the recliner and kind of like doze lightly all night long,
and then I'll come get back in bed when I feel like I kind of got a little restless leggy,
Restless leggy.
Yes.
That's the official diagnosis.
That's the medical.
What's wrong with anyone? Oh, she's restless leggy.
But I did get that a little bit, and that was kind of uncomfortable in the car, like if we were driving to the doctor's appointments or something. But I mean, sleeping on my stomach sucked, and I'm not quite back there yet. Like I can't fully sleep on my stomach yet. I'm almost there. My stomach is still a little tender.
I'm picturing you like propping yourself up at like ever increasing angles.
I do. That's exactly what I do. I like bring my leg up, like I go lay on my side, and I'll kind of lay on my belly a little bit, and I'll pull my leg up, and I'm like, oh, so nice.
It's so close.
Yeah, I'm like a little bit more.
Soon.
I'm like, maybe by the new year. I have these conversations in my head.
I don't mean to make light because I like to sleep on my stomach too sometimes.
Right?
I do.
Jerk. every time I see you lay on your stomach, I'm like,
Fuck
God,
you.
oh, why can't that be me?
Your time's coming. Your
I
time's
know.
coming. So let's talk a little bit about like towards the end of the pregnancy. You know, one of the big things that everybody discusses is nesting.
Yeah.
I had thought several times that you were nesting. I was like, oh, she's going through her nesting phase. And it wasn't really that. It would be like you just saw a project that needed to get done on the house. And so like you had a little energy and pushed it in that direction that day or that afternoon or whatever. I knew you had really entered your nesting phase though when you decided that the family all needed ornaments. And more than ornaments, Christmas stockings. You decided this, I think, in September. Like,
no, it was the end.
was it October? I don't
Yeah,
think
it
it was.
was
I don't think it
no,
was
it
even October
was.
when you ordered them.
No, it was after Deb died,
Okay.
and she died October 24th.
Oh wow. All right.
Yeah,
So it was right at Halloween.
right.
All right. Well, All Hallows Eve, the ghosts and ghoulies put the fear in you.
Yeah.
You were like, it is the season.
Yes.
My friends. You though, you don't just go to the store and get a stocking. You ordered a cross stitch pattern
Yeah, because
because what you needed was something to do.
fucking project. God.
really time intensive
What was I
something.
thinking?
Used both your hands. That's what you need.
I'm not even sure where it is right now. I think it's. I think it's under the table, like the end table, between the recliner and the sofa. I think that's where my bag is.
With all the important stuff.
Like, I haven't opened it since a week before the girls were born. They're
We're gonna
5
find
weeks
it in
old.
we're gonna find it in a little cubby hole somewhere. Like Jake will
It's
have
all
finished a
together.
sweater. The dog has become sentient. He started knitting clothes. People keep it too fucking cold in this house.
Yes, but I did. Yes, but I
want
thought-
to talk about the fact that you were going to make Brandon a stocking, even though there's no Brandon in our house. I came home one day and you were like, "Do you want to see what you're going to get?" And I'm like, "Yeah." First of all, so the family is going to get stockings, and you are going to do this cross stitch thing. You're determined to do this, but the problem is it's very time intensive.
Yes.
And no one has one currently. You have one. I say no one.
And
That's
I
not
didn't
true.
use it
You have a
this year.
fancy one,
Yes.
but you're not going to use it until the family all has.
No, I'm gonna make
That's the
myself
idea?
one, but mine's gonna be the last one I make. I'm gonna make everybody else's first.
Oh, look at you, little Betsy Ross. That's the flag maker, right? Betsy
is.
Ross? Okay, good.
Yes.
So I come home and you're like, "Do you want to see your stocking?" Because you're going to start with me, the paterfamilias, as it were. You're like, "Do you want to see your stocking?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. You already got it done." You're like, "No, asshole. I'm going to show you the package." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So you hold up this package and it's an adorable. It's like a detailed like snowman standing in front of like a cypress tree. Not a cypress tree, but like a fir tree of some sort.
Yeah.
Christmas tree. And there's snow on the ground and it's like snowflakes in the air. And then at the top it says it's like a white band on the stocking and the name. And the name on the stocking is Brandon. Brandon is not my name. My name is Joel. And I said, "That's lovely. Am I going to need to change my name at Christmas time? You're going to start calling me Brandon? Is Brandon a fellow that I need to worry about?
No,
Why
no.
are you making Brandon stocking?"
No. Walmart picked Brandon. Or the company.
So I'm wondering if you're making it all by pattern, though.
Yes.
How do you make the name if there's no pattern for Joel?
There are pattern, like each letter has its own. It has
All you do is put the letter patterns together.
right.
Look at that. They think of everything.
I know.
What do you do if it's too many letters across? Like, what if my name is like Merry Christmas Zacharias Nebuchadnezzar?
Then your name is Zach. Or Too Bad So Sad. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Whiny.
Cross stitch and leet speak. Use text language.
Yes. You abbreviate that son bitch.
What else do you want to talk about the pregnancy before we get to the birthing? I think that's about there. I'm trying to think if there was something else that I wanted to mention.
I didn't feel them, like I never saw my, like people talk about their like singing an elbow roll or
Like,
whatever.
oh my God, that was a foot. Did you see
Yeah.
that foot in my belly?
We didn't have any of that. I guess because it was too crowded in there.
I think it was too crowded, and also there was there's a window for that where
Right.
they're big enough and strong enough to push it out, and small enough to have room to push it.
Oh, and back to the nesting thing.
Yes.
I don't think I actually ever hit my nesting.
You think your nesting phase came, or it would have come
It would
after
have
they?
come after we
got
had
here?
the babies, because they say it's like right before, it's like a week or so before the babies arrive. So it was a surprise when they were coming, to us. But I didn't have any, like, my body was not preparing. You know, it wasn't
To
like
have babies.
right when
Right.
like they.
Well, I mean, it was
dropped a
prepared to
whole
have babies,
bunch.
but just
right.
at a distance.
Yeah, so I don't feel like, I think I would have like top to bottom cleaned the house, and I was looking forward to that because I felt so useless for so long. I felt like I didn't do anything, and was so big and pregnant and swollen and whatever. I was kind of looking forward to that burst of energy I was going to get and feel really, really good, and I didn't do that.
Well, the problem, of course, is that since you were pregnant with twins, I mean, like by that point, you would have definitely been on bed rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you ended up. I guess this is as good a time as any. They ended up. So you worked until November 15th, 13th.
Something like that.
Yeah, middle of November is the point.
Right.
And you had a doctor's appointment on a Tuesday, and
It was Wednesday. It was fetal monitoring. Bethany went with
Wednesday,
me.
that's right. And your coworkers were literally taking bets on whether or not the doctor was going to allow you to come back.
Right.
And he did not.
He did not. In fact, they sent me to the hospital.
And the cause for that was you had high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm. I was really, really swollen, and I'd gained 17 pounds of fluid in 2 weeks, which was ridiculous because I'd only gained 25 the entire pregnancy.
You'd done so well. They were like
And I
so
was
happy with your weight
33
gain.
34 weeks pregnant, and all of a sudden I gained 17 pounds in 2 weeks.
So
and
they,
I looked like the Michelin Man.
So they sent you to the hospital. They,
Yep.
Well, and they said, hey, you need to go to the hospital and get checked out. We're going to put you on 24-hour pee analysis, and
Yep.
we're going to monitor the baby with the fetal heart monitor a lot, and we're going to make sure that everything's good, or the babies, and make sure that everything's
They
good.
just said, we're sending you over to the hospital. We didn't even know it was 24 hours till we got there.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, oh, it's a 24-hour urine collection thing? And my sister and I were like, oh, so we're going to be here overnight? I better call Joel and tell him that.
That's funny. Yeah, you were with your sister, so I was at work actually, so I didn't know about it right away. And once you were on your way to the hospital, you called and you were like, "Hey, not to freak you out, everything's okay, but these are the things that are happening," and they sent me there. And I was like, "All right, well, I'm going to wrap up here at work. I'm going to let," and I don't think we had the boys that day, so I was able to come over straight as soon as I got done with work, and I just finished what I needed to do, and then packed my stuff and headed in that direction. You had a list of things, hey, pick up this and pick up this or whatever, and come over. So we ended up staying in the hospital about 36 hours that time.
Just about.
So a little more than 24 hours they kept
Yeah.
you. And they finally discharged you, sent you home. You were fine. Everything was cool, except that now bed rest.
Yep.
So no work anymore.
No work.
Were you like, was bed rest, was that like, oh no, or was it like, I get to relax a little bit?
It was, oh no. I did not want to do it. I really, really, really wanted to make it to Thanksgiving break at work. I really, really wanted to. It had been my goal. Like I just wanted to, and I knew. And granted, my bed rest wasn't like super restrictive. He said it's more like home rest. Don't go doing crazy stuff, even at the house. Like, don't.
You can get up, make a sandwich. You can walk. You can take a shower if you want to. You can walk around the
Right,
house.
but don't do any housework. Don't
run the
do
vacuum
anything.
cleaner. Don't
Right. Don't do
get
anything.
on a step ladder and clean the curtains.
Right. You can't even do the dishes, like, because I don't want you standing there unloading and doing. Like, it's too much time on your feet. And like, I was tired, but I was not looking forward to it.
So for a week you stayed home and you
Did.
kind of relaxed and you got some rest and you finished up a few things. You packed bags and
I
that kind of
did.
thing. And then all of a sudden, I say all of a sudden. No, it wasn't all of a sudden.
The
We had
next
another doctor's
Tuesday.
appointment next Tuesday. The next checkup, we go to see the specialists, and again, they said, go back to the hospital.
Yeah, the girl told me, she said, she was asking me all these questions, the ultrasound tech, and I was answering them. And I would fill them in on everything that happened the week prior. And she said, you are answering these questions all wrong. I bet you they're going to send you to have these babies today. And I was like, oh, really? And I was kind of like, all right. And then, whatever. And then the other thing, I was like, no, they better not. Like, what are you talking about? And you were in the bathroom, so when you came in, I was just like, hey, they're telling me I'm answering these questions wrong. And so the doctor came in, and he was like, we're going to have babies today or tomorrow. You go in the hospital and call your doctor.
I was so excited. I was a little nervous.
I was freaking out.
And I know you were, like, I knew then, like, you were unprepared. I mean, you were prepared, you were ready, but you were like, I'm not ready. There's supposed to be more time. I'm supposed to have like 2 more weeks to figure this out. And I, more than unprepared though, more than like worried, whatever, I was just excited that it was going to be over. I was so on edge about you being pregnant, about the fact that now there was some complications and that you had to go on bed rest, that you'd been in the hospital, and that potentially there were, complications for the girls as well. I wanted the thing done. I knew once they were here, I knew that the doctors would know what they needed to do to take care of them and you, and it would all be fine. But while they were inside, there was nothing any of us could do. It was all on you. And so I was just really excited that we were going to have them. But we came back over and we checked into the hospital and, alerted the family. And all of a sudden, there we were. It was Baby Palooza 2013.
It was ridiculous.
We had a very nice turnout, I thought, in the hospital.
Oh, hey, can I go backwards for a second?
Yeah.
Rewind. I do have some advice for people that when we were talking about the pregnancy.
I got a few things I want to tell you people.
Yes. Do not ever look at your pregnant girlfriend or wife or sister or coworker or just person on the street and ask them how they are doing. And when they tell you really how they're doing because they're pregnant, they're going to tell you how they really are doing. Don't tell them, oh, just you wait. It gets worse. Really? I had no idea. It was going to get worse. I was going to get even bigger. My boobs were going to get sore. My hips were going to spread. I was going to go into labor and have to push this baby out. Or get sliced open and then have a nurse on me 12 times a day. Fuck you. Like, I didn't know. Really? Oh, well, it's just... I changed my mind.
We should make PSAs.
God.
We should make PSAs like the It Gets Better bullying and like LGBT commercials or whatever. We should make It Gets Worse.
It gets worse.
about pregnancy.
Suck it
So
up, you
you're
pansy.
pregnant. You're glowing. All of your family members are ecstatic. You're planning your your showers and your registries, etc. Did you know that soon you won't have ankles? Stretch marks will cover more of your body than tattoos do now.
It's terrible. People are stupid. But anyway, yes, there was a very good turnout at the hospital, and I was less than pleased with the turnout the night before the babies were born. I would have rather it been. I don't know if I would rather it been nobody there except you and me. But I was so scared. Like, I was so scared. I didn't want anybody there.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want anybody there. And I don't know if you noticed, but I told 1 or 2 people afterwards. They were like, well, how was it? And I said, I was terrified. I was so quiet that night. Like, there were so many people in and out of the room, and my family, your family, and it was fine. And and everybody was excited, and I get that. But I was so quiet. I was so scared. I really wanted everybody to go. But I didn't want to be rude because everybody was so excited. And I felt bad not being excited. But I knew that I was fixing to have major surgery. And, like,
Yeah, they were all just, like, going to get a grandbaby. You were like,
yeah,
they're going to cut
nieces
me
and
open in this room
nephews.
back here.
Yeah, and, like, yeah, and they were early, and they were 35 weeks, and
Hello.
I didn't know. And I don't know. I just didn't. I was very nervous.
Well, and rightfully so. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything wrong with that nervousness. But and I knew it then. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
obvious that you were nervous. And I think the family did a pretty good job of
Everybody was wonderful.
like trying to stay at arm's length. Like
No,
they were
everybody
around
was
and
so
available.
Great. Like
Yeah.
everybody, everything that everybody did, and everybody that was there, everybody was wonderful. Like
And I
it
just
was
want to.
so great. I was so appreciative.
I was gonna say, let me fast forward and say this: your parents and my parents are really, really good at hovering for help at a convenient and comfortable distance.
Yes.
Like they're right there. Anytime we're like, hey, can you do, they're already there to do it. Like you don't even have to, but at the same time, they're not up our, like we never have to chase them away. We never have to say, well, you people leave
Okay,
now.
yeah, we're done with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean this rudely, but get the fuck out of my
Yeah.
house. Like we never have to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. So kudos to our parents. My mother doesn't listen week to week, but she does listen when you're on. So
Yeah.
she probably heard this.
Yeah.
Yay, Mom. Thank you.
Yes, she's wonderful.
Let me say this. I was nervous, but more, I was really excited, and it occurred to me there finally that night in the hospital while we were waiting. We got there and it was a couple hours, and then we knew, okay, hey, it's going to be tomorrow morning. So like there was a long period of time ahead of us before anything was really going to happen, and it was mostly just sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
And in that time when I really had some time to like ponder the situation, it occurred to me it's a little momentous on a like micro family level, because for your mother and father and for my mother and father, and so your sisters and my sisters and brother, none of them have twins.
No.
None of our parents didn't have twins. Our grandparents on either side didn't have twins. Our great-grandparents on either side didn't have twins. We both have like extended family, cousins or whatever.
Right.
So it was a little bit of a thing.
Yeah,
it was an event, and people were excited about it. And that was really cool. And
It
that
was very
finally dawned on me that night in the hospital. I was like, hey, this is going to be a thing. We're going to be like the Beatles or something, like a little family Beatles thing.
Yeah.
That everybody's going to want to keep up with the twins. And that's really, really neat. And I've done the pregnancy thing before. Well, no, I haven't done the pregnancy thing, but I've done the having babies thing before.
Right.
I got 2 little boys, of course, son number 1 and Deuce. And they're very close in age, and we get stopped sometimes out in public and, hey, are they twins and that kind of thing. But I had no idea the level of attention and fascination that would accompany actually having twins.
It's
and that all
insane.
started for me that night in the hospital.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's like some weird science experiment. People are just curious. And it's different, and but there's so many twins, but people still
that's
treat
why,
it
like
it's so rare. It's like
it's
we had
bizarre.
5.
Yeah, well, and I think it comes down to, okay, so in your life, how many twins do you know? Maybe a dozen sets
Right.
of twins or whatever, and those dozen sets of twins pretty well at different times in your
Right.
life. But at the same time, no one intimately are
Is having
twins.
twins,
Like
right.
nobody. Your sister didn't have twins. Your cousin, your first cousin anyway. Like people you are
Yeah.
in your life every day, every week. You don't have any twins probably, and I think most people are actually that way.
Right.
Like as common as it is, it's actually still rare on a up close basis.
Right.
So when you have it right there up close, it is kind of an
Super
exciting thing.
interesting.
I'm glad to be in the eye of it, but at the same time, I really was not prepared for. The first time we got them out, and we were accosted 6 times in Walmart in like a 45-minute trip. It was insane.
It's crazy.
People follow you around. Are those twins? Are there two of them? What are you doing? There's two babies there?
Well, it's like the day your mom and dad and I took the boys and girls to the mall to get the pictures taken with Santa.
Yes.
I'm not even kidding. We literally walked in the door of JCPenney, like the side door of JCPenney. And I had the girls in the stroller and the boys were walking. We had just gotten in the door and this lady asked if they were two sets of twins. Like, had not even been in the store for a full 2 minutes. And no, ma'am, they're 17 months apart. But these, yes, ma'am, those two are twins. And
this one we just stole out of the parking lot.
good Lord.
This one's ours. We just kept the other one because, we felt like a matching set would be better looking.
Oh, it's crazy.
We just borrowed this one for the photo.
We thought that would be really cute. Santa will
Good.
love that.
Got two boys, two girls.
Two
It only
girls.
makes
That'll
sense.
that'll be adorable.
Yeah. We'll take her back to the bathroom stall when we're done with her.
Yeah. Yeah. They had matching dresses. And then
At first.
Baby A peed all over it.
Was it pee or I thought she shit all over herself.
Both.
Okay, there you go.
I picked her up and she was soaking wet. And I was like, oh, man.
Like a lady.
Yes. So ladylike. So there I am changing her clothes on the railing of like the landscaped center of the mall. Like
the ferns around the fountains.
yes. Like I have my baby laid up on a
15
Good
feet away
Lord.
from the North Pole.
yes. And people are still like, oh, she's so cute. I'm like, she has shit all over.
There
I'm
is
pulling this
poop
dress
everywhere.
over her head, and I put her in this striped reindeer outfit. And so my reaction was, thank you so much. Her sister's over there. They're like, oh, she's twins. I'm like, yes. No, get the fuck away
Yeah,
from
go
me.
look at
I'm
the
trying
clean
to-
one.
Yeah.
Go look at the clean one. I'm changing this one's ass.
Man. Oh.
Yeah, so let's go back. Okay, so tell us about delivery. I mean, you don't. I was there. I remember it,
You were.
but I didn't. I didn't do it exactly. How was it? You had a C-section, first of all.
I did.
Let's say that it was planned because they were, hey, it's time to have the babies and we need to have them now, and you weren't going into labor or anything like
They
that.
could have put me in labor, but
Probably. Baby A was breech anyway.
yeah.
So it was like, this is the best thing to do. This is the course of action. Everybody comfortable with it? Okay, let's move forward. So like they put me in a room. They tell me to put on my scrubs. So I have 15 minutes alone with my thoughts as I get on my gear. And they take you in a room, take all your clothes off, and put you on the table.
Yeah. They I just had my gown on, but I had to take a shower. Okay, I took a shower like the night before and stuff. But they woke me up that morning. And they put my IV in, and that's when they blew my vein. And that was the worst part, was the IV. The entire worst part of the whole thing.
At the very beginning.
Yes, that was terrible. That hurt, man. I don't know. I've never had an IV before, but that hurt. And but I had to take a shower and like scrub down with all this stuff, with this like sterile stuff. I don't know. That was interesting. I didn't know that was involved. Oh, but this was kind of funny. I don't even think I told you this. The nurse came in, so she was like checking me all over, and like making sure everything was good. She was the nurse who came in and brought me this to take a shower. She's getting me all ready, and she's helped me get in my gown. And she goes, she says, "Oh, well," she said, "Well, the good thing is you're clean shaven." She's just like, that makes my job easier. So apparently,
A lot of women come in there with a full bush and
I
whatnot.
guess, I don't know. Apparently her job is
It's
to
to shave your vagina?
people. Or like to shave like some of it. I don't know. I'm like, good God. Because I know where the cut is. Like, if you got shit going up all that way, we need to talk. Like,
Oh my God! You need
but I was like,
you need to give some style tips.
but I thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh, well, you're welcome.
I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, I guess they probably shave. They probably shave a lot of the area, not just right there where the incision is. They probably shave a lot of
It's
the
just
area.
so it's a sterile area because they put that betadine
yeah,
on you
yeah.
and stuff, and so yeah, so they got to do all that stuff. But yeah, she told me that. I thought that was so funny.
So apparently the shit, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Apparently pubic hair is not the death of pubic hair is vastly over shit.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, okay. Let me think. Pubic hair's death has been vastly exaggerated.
Yes, apparently.
The reports of pubic hair's death are vastly exaggerated.
Because apparently this girl still has shit into the stick and has to do that. I was like, good God, bless your heart. You're welcome.
Maybe she's just been there a long time and she's used, like, for years and years. It was
I don't know. But
she's just still not used. You know what? That's the 375th one this year that didn't have any pubic hair. Strange.
So weird. But no, so I was happy to help her out. And I was like, you're welcome. I didn't plan it. I didn't even know we were coming here. So this was not for your benefit.
Oddly enough, though, you had just done your toes and fingernails, I think, hadn't you?
I did. I'd done my toes.
And there you go. And,
yeah, and my fingernails. Yeah, you're right.
And you had also not shaved your legs, but you did like some version of nair or something,
yeah, like
right?
Veet. I'd Veeted them.
You'd Veeted them?
Yes.
Veet. I wonder if that has anything to do with like the Veet in French. Doesn't it mean quick? I think that means quick. I think Veet too sweet is how you very quickly.
Ask your ex-wife. She'd know.
We don't really speak about French very much anymore. It's funny enough. Hey, so let's talk about having the girls. Let's talk about having the girls home.
Okay.
First of all, we've got 2 great big brothers.
Yes.
That have both turned into really good helpers. They were there. They actually got to meet the girls first. Mm-hmm. Other than you and me, they met the girls before anybody else.
Yep.
I thought that was really nice that we were able to do that. They played hooky the day that the girls were born and got to come hang out with us at the hospital and then go play with Oma and Opa a little while too. Mm-hmm. Fun stuff. The boys have been great.
They've been awesome.
Son number 1. And I wrote this down. This is my favorite note about son number 1 and the girls. When we first got there, we made a big production about hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Got to have clean hands when you hold the babies. Yes, we want everybody to hold the babies. We're going to show you how. You can hold them anytime you want to. It's good for us. It's good for the babies. Yes, awesome. We love that you want to do it. Got to have clean hands to do it. This stuff will get you clean hands. Mm-hmm. You just squeeze a little in your hand, wipe it over, did the whole thing. We'd been doing this for a couple days now. We'd been home with the boys, and we got them like right after we got home. Like they came to the hospital on Wednesday when the girls were born.
We got out Saturday. We had them Sunday.
Yeah. And like Sunday morning, even Sunday, middle of the day Sunday, we had them all day Sunday, and then like Monday and Tuesday too.
It was quick.
It was quick. It was very quick. But they were very helpful, and one of the things that sticks out though is son number 1 wandering around the house telling me that he was looking for the sanitizer.
The sanitizer. Yes, that was so funny.
I was like, no sir, there is no Fox News in this house. No one needs to be sanitized.
I need a sanitizer. I'm looking for the sanitizer. I was like,
want to hold my sisters.
Did he say sanitizer? Yes, he totally said sanitizer. That was so funny. That was so funny. Oh, man. And Deuce's volume.
Deuce has a problem. Like Will Ferrell's character on Saturday Night Live. He has a problem controlling the volume of his voice.
Oh, my God. He's so loud. But he was so quiet for a while. That's over and done with.
I think the girl, like, he's experienced the girls full on crying, and he's like, oh, the girls make noise too. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Like,
I could be loud again.
The other day, we were all 6 of us were in the van, and one of the girls was crying, and she's got a big old shrill voice, shrill cry, and Deuce was like shaking his head back and forth, like, and he was like, had his teeth, he was showing his teeth, like he was throwing them off. And I was like, oh, get over it. You're just as loud as she is.
Yeah, seriously. Like if you, of all people, should complain about volumes or
I was like, do not even fuss about that. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's funny. Excuse you.
What what else you got? You got something else you want to talk about the girls? I want to get to the list before we forget about it here in a minute. It's not like
awesome.
It's not like this is the only time we're going to talk about them.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
No, they're awesome.
They are. They really are awesome. Hey, and they're doing really well, by the way. I guess we should update people. Like everybody is growing,
Yes,
happy,
they're
healthy. We've been to 2 doctor's visits now. We got another one coming up in the middle of this next month, and
4 shots.
Yeah, they'll get a bunch of immunizations. You're very upset about that. I'm gonna have to actually come to that one and play the bad cop.
Yep.
I'm just glad we're not at a point in our society where we self-administer immunizations. Like, I'm really glad there's another person that I can put this off on and be like, here, you do it. You stick the baby with the sharp needle.
Yeah. It does say, though, to breastfeed them while they're getting their shots. It's like a natural pain reliever for them or something. So I'm going to try that.
I think you should do that for me the next time that I have an immunization, too. My flu shot next year, I think.
Come here.
Be a natural pain reliever for me. Absolutely.
Ridiculous.
So they've been home.
No, they're great. They're awesome.
They've been home now for 5 weeks? I don't know. They're 5 weeks old?
They're almost 6 weeks, yeah.
6 weeks old on Wednesday.
6 weeks old Wednesday.
Yeah. Hey, hello there. 6 weeks old on Wednesday, and we haven't broken them yet. I think we'll be fine.
I've just bumped their heads in their car seats a couple of times. I mean,
if that's as bad as it gets.
It might have been the same kid twice.
If that's as bad as it gets, I think we're doing fine.
They're doing fine.
I think I had already been dropped in a sink at least once by this age.
I have not dropped anybody in the sink. Not dropped anybody at all.
Not dropped anybody at all. Very proud of that. We're gonna. Matter of fact, I think we need badges.
We've had 0 days
since
the last incident.
No, not 0 days since the last incident. We've had.
We need
the sign, and it's running. So we've had if they're let's say they're almost 6 weeks. That's 42 days. 42 days since last incident. Last incident being their arrival.
Their arrival. Yes.
So before we forget about it, you have been keeping a list of
yes.
things.
This has nothing to do with babies.
None of it. Well, that's right. None of them on there have anything to do with babies.
None.
Because you have not taken any notes since you.
I mean, yeah.
It's like you've been busy or something.
Yeah. Okay. Do you just want me? You want me to just start reading them off?
You can if you want to.
You can kind of give backstory if you want to.
Yeah, we could do that if you want to. Yes.
Okay.
And if you see something that you don't think if they're not worth mentioning, feel free to pass them over.
Okay. Laughter is the best Mexican.
Karl Malone always say, laughter is the best Mexican. I don't even know where that originated from. I think it was on Facebook.
It was Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons said that about Karl Malone?
I have written down Jay, Bill, and Carl collaboration.
Nice. Yeah. Yes. Bill Simmons is the sports guy. And I bet that was in his book, the Book of Basketball.
Yeah,
he which is a very, very good book, by the way. Karl Malone, of course, a local celebrity here and an alumni of our illustrious university locally, and an all-around good guy, I think, generally too. But he does have a funny way of talking sometimes. Karl Malone always say, "Laughter is the best Mexican."
Fargan Bastages.
So
you Fargan Bastages.
There's a little movie called Johnny Dangerously, starring Michael Keaton from the early 80s, and it's a spoof on gangster movies, and it's like a big dumb comedy. And I loved it when I was a kid. I watched it a ton on HBO at my grandparents' house. They always had HBO when I was growing up, and I'd watch movies that was probably really inappropriate for me to watch. We watched it on Netflix together to see if it holds up, and it totally holds up. One of the characters in the movie curses a lot, but he curses incorrectly, so he says things like "you fogging bastages," so he can get away with. so he can get away with cursing more, pretty much, than he could in a PG-13 film.
Yeah.
You fucking bastards.
Dog snake.
That began as a conversation with me and other guy, actually, pre-podcast, I think. He and I were discussing, no? You and I talked about it, I know.
You and I were laying on the sofa watching.
Oh, and I just told him and he didn't think it was funny.
I knew it was funny, and it was freaking hilarious.
It was very, very funny. Yeah, well, yeah, sure. But we were watching Seals?
Yeah, it was Seals. It was like the North America. It was like the North America thing, or Earth, or whatever that.
Yeah, I bet it was Earth. The Richard Attenborough. Picture the seal in motion.
Yeah.
A graceful killer.
It was that thing. Yeah, it was that thing where the guy went around the country, and he was on the West Coast. Do you remember that? I don't know.
Are you talking about the Stephen Fry?
Yes.
Stephen Fry Sees America?
Yes.
That's what it was on?
That's what it was on.
Okay, wow, that's good. That's a totally different show. Stephen Fry, I think it's Stephen Fry's America, or Stephen Fry Goes to America, or something like that. But anyway, it's like 6 episodes, I think, and he travels all across the country, and one of the things he does is go to an aquarium, I guess, and plays with seals. I don't remember
I think they
this.
were just watching seal watching.
Okay, there you go. A little seal watching. Of course, it was one of America's favorite pastimes. And
have you ever noticed
that it doesn't, that the seal doesn't, it looks a lot like a dog and a snake had a baby?
Yeah. Dog snake.
It does look like a dog snake. I think if you were gonna name animals literally, like if there was ever an animal to name literally, that one's obvious.
Yeah, because we had the conversation. We said, Adam's in the Garden of Eden, and God comes along and he's like, hey, what'd you name that one? What'd you name that one?
Did you get to the dog snake yet?
Yeah, did you get to the dog snake? And Adam's like, the what? And he's like, the dog snake, thing that looks like the dog and the snake mixed together.
Oh,
and he's like, what?
You mean the seal?
The seal? And Jesus is like, Jesus Christ, what?
You mean the thing that's going to open at the end times?
Yes.
You mean the thing you put on an envelope? It's obviously a dog snake.
Obviously a dog snake.
You jackass.
Oh,
you farting bastards.
So freaking funny, man. Versus.
YouTube videos, in case you have never seen it, epic rap battles of history. Epic rap battles of history.
Versus
yes.
William Shakespeare.
Very, very good. There's several, well, not several. There's like dozens of them now, and almost every single one of them is excellent.
Yes.
These are all things, by the way, just from our relationship. Like you were taking notes
this
about
just funny
me.
Stuff. This one,
in case I ever ran away, I guess. So you could say, well, this was what he was like.
That's exactly what it was. Just for when you broke my heart, I would just have memories. It's so sad.
Well, it's not
pathetic.
sad now
Wow.
since I married you.
It's really pathetic when you say it out loud now.
You're holding our twin, one of them. You're holding one of the twins.
I apparently at some point said, I hope heaven has a holodeck.
I do hope heaven has a holodeck.
Me too. It'd be awesome.
See, Dad and I were hanging out the other day, and he was talking about the heavenly choirs. And I do believe in heaven. I believe in an afterlife. Very specifically, I'm a Christian. We're both Christians. And I think that some sort of a version of the biblically described heaven is true. However, I don't really think it's streets of gold and pearly gates. And I also, anytime somebody talks about heavenly choirs, I'm like, I don't want to go to a place where there's nothing but like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir style, thousands and thousands of voices in unison singing hosannas. That's not my idea of heaven.
Right.
And I'm imagining that it's more than that. That's one, like the idea of heavenly choirs and the idea of like the massive praiseful singing is one metaphor for explaining the excitement and the activity and the exaltation and the wonderfulness that will be the post life. But yeah, I really hope heaven has a holodeck.
Yes.
I want to play Cowboys and Indians once in a while.
Jesus. This one
not necessarily with Jesus, but with the lesser apostles.
Moses.
Moses. I would totally play Cowboys and Indians with Moses.
It's
a hell of a thing to kill a man. Take away all he's ever had. All he's ever gonna have.
This one's, you're the honey bun to his Diet Coke.
That's the origin of your nickname, as a matter of fact. You were in one of your spouts of this fella's an asshole and he's probably going to destroy my life, right?
Yes.
You were texting with the best friend, and she made the analogy. I love many things, but one of the things that I love a lot, as far as food goes, is Diet Coke, and I love honey buns, and they go really well together. You can't have one without the other, and so you are the honey bun to my Diet Coke.
That's a true story. This is a quote from Other Guy, but it makes me laugh every time I read it because it happened at his house. There's
a lot of our formidable.
There's a speed between fancy dinner party and pass the fuck out in the laundry room.
Hell, I'm going to throw him under the bus.
Yeah.
He's talking about holiday friend there.
He is
He's talking about our friend. He's talking about our holiday friend. Our holiday friend came to town, and it's
Christmas.
not that, he's a guy with a lot of responsibilities.
Yes.
He's got a very uptight job. He's got a great wife, but like they've got a young baby at home, et cetera, et cetera. And it was his first time away from the family, so to speak. The wife didn't come.
Yeah.
The baby was not there. He was alone at the house with his college buddies. And he forgot there's a speed between fancy dinner party and pass the fuck out in the laundry room. And he forgot. It went straight to pass the fuck out in the laundry room, drooling on the tile floor. He got better.
No.
Oh, the wife was there
because we tried to keep her away. We tried to.
I forgot all about that.
Poor her. Oh, poor Mrs. Holiday friend.
Poor holiday friend.
I know.
He was the one passed out on the floor.
I know. Okay, this is a great one.
He did get better though. He was even allowed to come over the next time.
He did. This is a funny little conversation between the two of us. Were you touched today by the passing of Vidal Sassoon? Me. What? He died. You. Yeah. You're going to like the way you look. That's Vidal Sassoon, right? Me. No. That's Men's Warehouse.
A little difference. Little difference between Men's Warehouse and Vidal Sassoon.
We made a sex bet about how you pronounce the word decipher.
And I lost.
You did.
But I
won. Yeah.
It's decipher. It's decipher. Excuse me. It is decipher.
We had a huge debate about it at Other Guy's house. And so later on, the whole room is quiet, like the whole room, and we're all in the living room. And Joel's sitting in the kitchen, and all of a sudden we hear the Google translate. Yeah, Siri
speak
say,
back.
Decipher.
I wasn't going to take your word for it. Just because y'all all thought it was true doesn't mean, hey, of course, the other word, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, the other word that I get wrong or have gotten wrong in the past a lot is codify. I tend to pronounce it codify. That's the way that I used to pronounce it a lot. To me, it's like root and route. Sometimes the sentence is phrased in a way that codify fits better. Sometimes the sentence is phrased in a way that codify fits better. The way that the sounds play off one another. Mm-hmm. One is right and one is right in other times. That's the way that I had felt about it. You guys pointed out that codify, of course, from the root code, not cod, and perhaps that might imply something about the way that the pronunciation should go. I was eventually swayed to think that you guys are right. However, in the past week, as a matter of fact, I saw a video online where a well-known producer, writer, whatever, I can't think of the guy's name right now, but the name of the series that he's working on is called Penny Dreadful for Showtime. It was a behind the scenes of this show, and he's talking about how it came into being. And he said, I was reading Frankenstein, and then I read Dracula, and then I read The Portrait of Dorian Gray, and I thought, how could I codify all of these different, parts of horror literature into one news story? And I thought, huzzah! It's a kindred spirit. He understands. It's like poetic license, but it's for regular speech. That's the way that I feel about it.
Yeah, but didn't he have an asterisk by it?
Well, under it, the guy that was talking about the video made a joke about it.
Yeah.
Yes. There was no asterisk in the video.
He's like, this dumbass.
He didn't asterisk the sentences. He said it. Codify. That'd be funny if you
Like a
asterisked
pop-up
yourself. Yeah. I'm gonna put some footnotes in this speech that I'm giving you.
You said this. You know the combination of smart and lucky that I am. I should never bitch about anything.
I do feel hey, and this actually might be a pretty good note to go out on because it's not going to be too much longer before the girls start getting hungry. That's a perfect example of how I feel super blessed. Like, and I think about it all the time. Like, I don't have the best life in the world, probably. I don't have a ton of money. I don't have the nicest car. My parents aren't rich or powerful. I don't have friends in high places, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I got great people around me. I've got a lot of natural benefits in my own life. I had a great childhood, et cetera. And I know that's not something that everybody can count on or can say. And so I'm super, super thankful about where I am and the position that I was given. And I try to work really hard with what I have and be worth it. And that's definitely true about you. And it's definitely true about the girls and the boys. We've got a beautiful family.
We really do.
Honey bun.
We really, really do. You're a lucky son of a bitch.
Fargan bastages.
No, you really are.
It's a true story.
No, it really is. It's wonderful.
I love you.
I love you.
Save some more of your list so that we have things to laugh at the next time that you're on the show. When other guy doesn't feel like doing an episode.
Can I just say this last one?
Yes. This will be the after credit sequence.
I got two.
Okay.
One is,
get in the mic.
My love for you is like carrying this crate inside the house. Uncomfortable, but necessary. By the end of the day, it gives me somewhere to park my dog.
So one of the things that happened when we got rushed to the hospital is that we had dogs. We have dogs to worry about. And your parents were great. They came over. They got the dogs. We're like, we'll keep the dogs. Don't worry about it. But then once we got back to the house, we have to go over to your parents' house, load up the crate, load up the dog, bring it back to the house. I kind of fucking hate these dogs. Not really hate. Not like you hate Osama bin Laden or communism, but a little bit hate. A little small, like a pilot flame of hatred burning in my heart for these two dogs. And yet, my love for you is like carrying this crate into the house. It's uncomfortable, but necessary. And at the end of the day, gives me someplace to park my dog. That's a true damn story. Whew.
This is the other one. Oh, I got a phone call. Oh, well. There's actually two I wanted to read, but I'm going to read this one. The other night when I was rubbing lanolin on my boobs, and you were like, oh, yeah, medicate that nipple. There's nothing sexier than a woman rubbing lanolin on her sore nipples.
Even the name lanolin. There's nothing sexy about lanolin. It's soft. It's not disgusting or anything. It's not like moist or like, I don't know, Dermatrix or something like that. Lanolin. It's soft. You wouldn't think it was bad. It is not sexy though.
It's not.
Well, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna rub some of this lanolin on myself. Ooh yeah.
I got some good ones for next time.
Excellent. This has been Two Guys, One Podcast. And you can find all of your Two Guys, One Pod needs at twoguysonepod.com. Email us if you want to be a part of the show. Send us some listener mail to twoguysonepod@me.com or stop by our Facebook page, facebook.com/twoguysonepod. And also make sure when you shop Amazon, hit the support tab or any of the Amazon banners at twoguysonepod.com. And not only will it not cost you anything, but we'll actually get a few pennies thrown our way for pointing you in their direction. We appreciate that. Until the next time we have you in again, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yay. Hey, let's talk about how quiet our babies were for like an hour and 10 minutes.
Because they were asleep and they weren't supposed to be.
Well, they weren't really asleep the whole time. That's what I'm saying to myself. I kept goosing this one over here. I don't know about you.
I didn't really.
Yeah, you should have been goosing her.
And it says this is the time frame that we weren't supposed to.
I know. You should have been goosing her.
I know.
Goose her now.
Poke, poke.
You don't just poke her. You got to tickle her a little bit. You got to warm up to it. No, she's out. All right, let's take these babies home and see if we can't fix all of the terribleness that we've done to their scheduling now.
All right.
Until next week, I'm one guy.
And I'm Honey Bun. I almost said I'm other guy.
Until next week, I'm one guy.
And I'm Honey Bun.
And this is how I became her handsome.
And this is how I became his beautiful.
And this has been the podcast.
It's a big world, baby, and you're little for a little while. It's a big world, baby, you can fiddle in your own style. It's a big sun, it's a big tree, it's a big boat, it's a big sea, it's a big dog, it's a big plane, it's a big cloud with a little bit of rain. It's a big world, baby, and you're little for a little while. It's a big world, baby, you can fiddle in your own style. It's a big house, it's a big chair, it's a big zoo, it's a big bear, it's a big street, it's a big car, it's a big sky with pretty little stars. It's a big world, baby, and you're little for a little while. It's a big world, baby, you can fiddle in your own style. It's a small bug, it's a small shell, it's a small bird, it's a small bell, it's a small cup, it's a small toy, it's a small girl, it's a small boy, it's a small coin, it's a small ring, it's a big world for every little thing. It's a big world, baby, and you're little for a little while. It's a big world, baby, you can fiddle in your own style. It's a big world, baby, and you're little for a little while. It's a big world, baby, you can fiddle in your own style. In your own style. In your own style. In your own style. In your own style.
There's one on here. It says, we were just incompatible. I wanted him to take care of my fill valve, and he just wanted to put it in my flush valve. You were fixing the toilet.